Hello, everyone. It is Monday, 9 August, and we are live with another discussion on Bloom. I want to welcome everyone. I see some names popping up in the chat. Jackie, Stephanie, welcome, welcome, welcome. To anyone that's new to this platform, it's very interactive, so we want to encourage you all to engage with us as the conversation continues to progress. But I am so excited to welcome our next guests, Will and Cheryl. They are an amazing couple. And if you know them personally, please go in the chat and share some love. But they've been married for 21 years, and they are absolutely that couple that is still madly in love with each other. And it is so beautiful. So they are going to join us today to share some tips for business owners, whether you're a business owner or a stay-at-home mom, on how to keep your marriage fresh. So for anyone who is married or looks to be married in the future, I'm sure you know that this is a very value-added topic. So I am so excited to bring them in. Hello, guys.
Hi, Z.
Hey.
Oh, Debbie said she had the pleasure of meeting this awesome couple at Sean's 50th birthday party. Their vibe was positive and the love for each other was bright. God bless your union as always. How are you guys doing today?
We're doing awesome.
Doing great. Thank you.
I think I was Morris Day at that party though.
You were.
I don't think she met me. She's Morris Day.
You were Morris Day. Sure, who were you that night?
Yeah.
Who's your alter ego?
Yes.
All the way in Huntsville.
Yes, all the way in Huntsville. So can you let everyone know, both of you all, where are you from? Cheryl, we can start with you.
Oh, yes. So, hi, everyone. I'm Cheryl Hagins. Married 21 years this past July to my best friend.
Mm-hmm.
And we have two beautiful daughters. One is already grown and gone from the house. We have a teenage daughter that's still at home. She's a junior in high school this year. She plays sports. And we have three wonderful, super active grandkids that we just adore. I also have worked in the insurance industry for over 25 years as a health career broker. I also have my own fitness business on the side. And
she's amazing at it too.
Yes. And I'm also a manufacturer of sea moss gel as well. And born in a little small town right outside of Orlando, Florida. It's called Apopka. It's where everyone knows your name. That's small.
That's awesome.
So that's where I was born and raised there, and that's actually where we met. So, but yeah.
Awesome. And what about you, Will?
All right, good. I'm a 51-year-old husband, son, father, uncle. Yeah, I think if you go in the dictionary and you look up awesome, you'll find me there.
Cheryl, my man tells no lies.
No, I'm playing. No, but I too have been in the insurance business for over, now it's about 30 years.
Yeah.
And we started a insurance agency about I think it's now about 15 years ago.
Yes. 2007.
And 2007. Mm-hmm. And then I'm production for her businesses behind the scenes.
Yes.
I like to be there.
I tell everyone he does the job of 15 people. He's amazing.
I love that.
No, okay. I'm originally I'm born here in Florida, in Orlando, straight out of Plymouth, Florida, a little smaller than Apopka.
Yeah.
And so, but we traveled all around the country and over in Europe. My dad was military, along with your husband, one of my best friends, for over 30 years. Me and him been friends. Yeah, that's me. I don't want to, take up all the time talking about all the things I've done because they really don't matter. Because I really cherish the first things I mentioned. I'm a husband. I'm a father, uncle, a
Yeah.
son. When it all falls down, that's really what matters, anyways. Trying to be the best person that I can be.
Oh, absolutely. That's totally the essence of who you both are. That's one of the reasons I definitely wanted to have you all here today, and I truly mean that. You have some family members, I know your mom, your mothers, your
Yeah,
sisters are
mama.
here to
Yes.
support you
Mama.
Hey,
guys.
Mom.
Yes.
Hey, my Blaze.
But for anyone who does not know you all personally, I can assure you that the truest essence of their personality is exactly what they both said, and you will definitely learn a lot from this discussion. If you are looking to reach a new level in your marriage, I was telling them earlier, when you're married, a lot of times you keep things private anytime you have any challenges or anything like that. But I feel very confident that if I was ever having a challenging time in my marriage and Will and Cheryl came to me or Sean and asked us how we were doing, on the home front, we would 100% be open and honest because we know that you guys are just good people.
Wow.
You're good
Yeah.
people. You really, really are. You're great people and you always want to help. And that's the reason why you're here today. So I want you to take us back a little bit down memory lane. And can you
Okay.
tell us how you all met?
Yes. Oh
Oh
yes.
my goodness.
Oh, we're gonna do this.
You got surprises. All
You
right.
met in the vault. Oh my goodness.
Take us
Oh,
back to
that
memory
picture.
lane.
Oh, you're
That
gonna make
was
me
that was the
cry.
first day, right?
Yes, that was our
Yep.
very first date, official date. We were just
All right.
kids, weren't we?
Yeah. So we met. We actually met. I can say church, but really,
Yeah.
we knew of each other.
We knew of each other.
We knew of each other.
But we worked in the same
Mhm.
career in the health insurance industry. And so we were always around each other. If it
Mhm.
wasn't at the office, it was at church. And so that was our beginning. I knew of him. And when I knew him back then, he was Brother Willie.
All right. So that was Brother Willie in the picture.
And then he went from being, I don't want to get ahead of myself, but he went from being Brother Willie to Will, and now he's my poppy.
Watch out,
But that's how we met. We knew of each other. Our families knew of each other. And something that was so ironic is that my only sister, my younger sister, her and his sister and my cousin, they all hung out together. They knew each other. And they would come over to our house. And at the time, I didn't know Will. I didn't know him. And didn't know that I was entertaining his sister, my now sister-in-law, his younger sister. And just to know that, he was that close to me. And I didn't know him, didn't know that I would be his wife one day. And it's just amazing how our paths crossed, and we're still together 2 decades and a year later.
And I think
Absolutely.
we were both just tired of broken relationships,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And the timing was just right. I was in church. I was walking down a hallway, and there was a window that showed outside, right? That you can look through the window outside to the parking lot. And all of a sudden, I see this woman walking with this sundress on. And the sun was shining just right. I was like,
now, put your glasses up.
Who is that? Okay. And so those legs and those arms, shoulders and stuff got me. I'm just telling you, keep
it real.
That was first thing. From there on, I was like, I got to get to know her.
And and to piggyback off of that, we both were, like you said, tired of broken relationships, and I was a single parent at the time, and a lot of people don't know we are a blended family. And so I guess we'll talk about that a little later. But I was a single mom at the time, and I knew what I did not want in a man,
Yeah.
in a partner. And so, as I continued to watch Will, at the office in the professional setting, and I also watched him at church and how he had a relationship with our pastor then at the time and the members, and he was on leadership. He was doing different things in the church, and how he treated his mom and how he cherished her and how he,
Mhm.
treated my mom when she came around. And he was always the same. And
Yeah.
so those were qualities, right? That I was like, okay, I'm ready for that type of relationship. I knew what type of relationship I didn't want because I had already,
Mhm.
been in those and was like, nope, moving on. Got the t-shirt, don't want it.
Yes. I love
And
that.
so I'm so glad and so thankful to God that our paths did cross and that we chose each other because it is a choice. We
Yeah.
choose our partners.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Uh-oh.
absolutely. I love that. That is so true. It is a choice. Do you choose each other every day? Do you believe in that? Every day you have to wake up and choose
Every
marriage?
day. Every
Yeah,
Yeah.
day.
I agree with
Yeah.
that. Yeah,
That is a
definitely.
powerful statement.
Because there's so many things that's pulling it against you.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? It's just so much.
Yeah.
And I
Distractions.
mean,
Mhm.
distractions, external, you know, the self talk that happens. So
Absolutely.
internal stuff. And if you don't choose daily to do those things that you know that your spouse likes, or you know that will make her happy or make you happy,
Mhm.
and then it will fade. And we went through those stages. Now,
Yes.
what
Mhm.
you're seeing today is nothing compared compared to the challenges that we've had in the
Right.
past, and those people that are close to us that were our sounding boards, were
Hmm.
our shoulders to cry on and stuff like that. They
Yes.
know those challenges, and so when they see us, they're like, "Okay, y'all, what's going on? Y'all doing something?" You
Yes.
know. So
Mhm.
don't let Facebook and our outward
Social
appearance
media.
and social media fool you like there was no struggle. And
Right.
but that struggle, we've learned from it so much to
Yes.
where those struggles come very few and far between now.
Yes. Ooh,
Oh,
ooh.
I love that. That's a
Yeah.
huge blessing.
Yes.
Yeah.
And like you just mentioned, the challenges that we had, the first 10 years, we all have heard of that 7-year itch. If your marriage
Mhm.
can make it, past that 7-year itch,
Mm-hmm.
you guys have a high chance of staying together,
Mm-hmm.
and so we hit bumps at year 3 and
The
year
3-year itch,
three,
5-year itch,
3-year itch,
7-year itch.
Yeah.
5-year itch.
And then when you get to year 7.5, you're like, hold up now. I thought I was supposed to be
Yeah,
over.
that itch is supposed to be scratched by now.
Right. Oh, well, Pastor.
But with that 7-year itch, it is a type of belief that people have, and it's a type of fear that people have that once you hit that 7-year mark in your marriage or in your relationship, things tend to, you become dissatisfied, if you will, with your
Mhm.
partner, with your mate, because that 7 years says psychologically, like, I want something new.
Yeah.
This is old. I'm searching for something else. It's worn out. The newness is gone.
Mhm.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And so I'm so glad that we're here with you, Zakia, on this platform to just share those tips, how we've overcome, that 7-year itch, and how we have managed to, get the romance, keep that romance going in our lives, that spark that you had mentioned earlier, because that 7-year mark, it is tough. It is real, but
Mhm.
having solutions is even more real.
That's good.
Having
I like that.
having support is even more real. And you set yourself up around those people, those support, your pastors, your leaders, your family, your counselors, people that you trust. Put those people in place now, because trust me,
Mhm.
in any relationship, it doesn't have to be marriage. It can be mother daughter, father son, any relationship. You're going to hit those bumps in the road. And so
That's
we've
good.
we've decided to stick it out, and we've been so blessed for that.
And we
Wow.
are blessed because you all stuck it out. So trust me, because I'm honestly, I don't know. I would just have such regret to not have known such an amazing couple. And I truly mean that. We definitely look up to you guys. You guys are
Hey.
awesome. I really mean that. So, I want to go back a little bit. I know Tammy mentioned she wants to talk a little bit about the stages. So let's talk a little bit about the blended family aspect. A lot of people are in blended relationships, and a lot of times they don't feel comfortable to discuss it initially. Um, do you happen to know why that may be, or were you apprehensive at first for dating someone that already had a child?
I think I never thought that I would be in they call ready-made family. You
Mhm.
know? And once I met Cheryl and then met her daughter, which is Kia, our oldest, and um, and then just started working through the process. I don't know if I have an old soul or what, but just maybe just listening to talk radio or something. Something gave me a little bit of knowledge to know, don't get into this marriage and try to force yourself to be Kia's dad. Uh, and Cheryl
Mm.
was so good at uh, um, expressing herself and getting Kia to express herself, and
Mm.
noticing these rhythms that would happen, the ebbs and flow, where Kia would pull away from wanting to
Oh,
have a father figure, because initially they want a father figure a lot of times,
yes.
especially if it's a girl. They want that father figure, but then when the father figure comes in, he's taking some of the attention. Then that ebb happens. Like, oh shoot, what did I get myself into? But I
Mm-hmm.
think what was successful for us is that uh, Cheryl did the discipline for Kia.
Mm-hmm.
She and I
That's
would
awesome.
talk about what the discipline should be behind the scenes,
Mhm.
but when it came out to be, hey, we need to gotta talk to you, it was her disciplining her to it.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yes.
so that allowed uh, the relationship between Kia and I to grow to where she can trust
Mm-hmm.
that I have her best interest at hand as well. And
Yes.
so, I would go to the sports practices.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I was there all the time.
Yes.
I should have been on the team or something. But I felt like it was necessary to put time in, because that saying, what's that saying? Children don't
Know how
know,
much you love them.
they know
time.
the time that you give. They spell love Time.
Yes, not
That's how they spell
LOVE.
love. So
That's
I
good.
spent the time investing into what was important to her
Absolutely.
all through the years. Then I would do date nights. Now that wasn't something that I thought of. That was something that Cheryl, as my wife, like, okay, I know what my daughter's needing. I can sense something.
Mm-hmm.
Once you start doing date nights, I started doing those things. So men, listen to your wife, because a lot of times they're in touch with that emotional side a lot more than we are.
Yeah.
And they may not be able to explain it completely, like what's necessary or what's needed. It may sound kind of like, foreign to us as men, but if we listen, I'm a thinker. I go away and I just kind of meditate on what's going on, because I got to feel it for myself. I can't just do it because she's saying it,
Right.
especially early off in our marriage.
Mm-hmm.
I had to kind of know why I was doing it and feel it internally. So I got that. And that's when
Mm.
I started doing it. And it was a very big success.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the wins here is that she looks at me as her dad. I adopted her, gave her my
Oh,
name.
Yes.
Now she has her husband's last name.
Yes.
yeah.
Gladly.
She was glad to give that name up in, but it was able to seal that relationship, and I
Yes.
gave her away when they got married.
Yes.
So
Oh.
that was what took place in the blended family. You just got to really listen to. We're very spiritual, not just that whole saying that people say. We really do trust in our God,
Yes.
our Holy Spirit.
Yes.
We claim that,
Yes.
and we claim the teachings that we hear, and so
Yes.
we try to listen to what the Holy Spirit is telling us.
Absolutely.
And I understand there may be a mixed crowd here, but You have to have something, someone that can give you some insight on what's going on, and you can listen to what you're sensing and follow that. So that, I think that's a long story short, but that's how I think we were able to blend that family a lot better.
Absolutely.
That is beautiful, and I can see that people are definitely receiving that advice very well.
This
Miss
is good.
Rosemary, yes, that's great advice. She said you're a great dad.
Yeah.
Sandra and
Oh,
Michelle, beautiful people. They
Wow.
absolutely adore you. You can see
Oh,
these are people
Reed.
who know you personally. Yes, absolutely. So I have to ask you, I mean, honestly, I'm sure everyone by now can see it, but the connection that you all have is very evident, very clear. For someone who's actually out there, and maybe we're talking to the single person who does not yet know that they have met their match, the one for them, can you let us know when you felt and when you knew that you had met your soulmate? What did that feel like?
Wow. Yeah. I'll take this one.
And just to refresh your memory just a
Uh-huh.
little bit, let's reflect.
Uh-oh. Where did you
oh,
get
you
these
good.
pictures?
You
You
good.
are
Let's just go a little bit back further down memory lane. So
Oh
for
my
people who may not
goodness.
know this wonderful couple, they just celebrated their 21st anniversary in July. So
Oh
this
my
was
goodness.
obviously on their wedding
Oh
day.
baby.
Um, and I mean, look at those smiles. You could just tell that they were so happy to be together to solidify their marriage before God and before their
Yeah.
family. And those smiles, though, they're still here. So, and it's beautiful. It's really beautiful.
Oh
Um,
wow.
yeah. So, can you
You
share with
surprised me.
everyone
That's
when
what
you
you got
actually
us. You're good.
love you guys?
I tell you, the feeling is just you'll know it when it happens to you. The key
Mm,
thing with women, we try to put a date on it. We try to uh, push the M word too soon, too prematurely. Um, you probably have already met your soulmate at some point, but may have, um, ran him away or ran her away by moving the relationship um, too soon. And so the reason why I say that is because um, the one thing that I know I did was I stayed authentic, my authentic self. I stayed true to who I am. I never forgot and never will forget where I'm from and
mm,
the Christian values that my mom put into me, and the teachings that different pastors has given me, even up to this day. My current pastor has given to me. That is something that I cherish. And so what I'm saying is always stay authentically you. And so Will accepted me for who I was and still is to this day, who I am to this day. But one story I have got to share that will
please
let you
do.
guys know that I knew that this was my soulmate. And that was, we were on a company. You remember this? We were on a company boat. We were on the company casino boat,
Working for the same company.
working for the same company. We weren't dating. It wasn't official. I had vibes for him, if you will.
Okay.
Yes. And didn't know how to express those vibes at the time because that was Brother Willie.
Yes.
And so we were on this casino. My mom might remember this story because she was on that same ship with us. She worked in the same company with us as well. I think mother-in-law was there.
She might have been there too.
She might have been on at the same
Yeah.
company. Yeah, we were the family. But back then, Z, we were on this casino boat, and just out the blue, I got so nauseous. I got seasick, and I ran to the back of the boat, and I just started, letting go. And I was like, oh my gosh, I am just sick. And every time I went over the boat to bring it up, I don't know who went and got you I don't know if it was mom. I don't know who it
Lord.
was. The Lord.
Whoa, you're needed.
Look, that's the best calling there is.
Anyway, there were other people there, co-workers there and everything. But the one person that I noticed was Will. He stood by my side, guys. He never left my side. Even when I was vomiting, even when I was throwing up, I was ugly faced. I was just like a mess. He even took off his coat because it was cold in the back of the bus. He took off his coat in the back of the ship. Yeah, he took off his coat, put it around me. And I had never experienced anything on that level. You know what I mean? You talk about chivalry, you know, men doing things for women, you know, showing good behavior to women, not wanting anything, not coming after them, you know, so direct, but just being courteous. And he was extremely courteous to me. And I was just blown away with that. And at that moment on the back of that ship, I said, aha, this is my husband. I just met my soulmate.
Oh,
That ship. And it took years for it to come to pass, but I knew before he knew. But I know we'll talk about that later. So.
Yes. We're going to talk about that right now.
So one of the things, you know, who pursued who first, you know, I was the one that kind of let the cat out the bag first. I was the one that was the most expressive. And, you know, he says that I kind of got off my A game because I came out too fast with, you know, he wanted to kind of play this, you know, little thing. But I was like, hey, I like you.
See you, yes.
Do you like me? Yes or no? If it's no, I'm gonna move on.
Right.
But anyway, I did express to him, you know, my feelings had grown beyond Brother Willie. You know, it had grown beyond a colleague, you know, someone in the same field with me. It had grown into something else. And so I wanted him to know, and I didn't want that opportunity to pass me by because, like I said, we choose. We choose our mates.
What she didn't know, that I actually was pursuing her, but I wanted to see how she interacts with friends, with other people, because I didn't want to put on the facade that a lot of times we get when you start dating. The first date, that person is not even the real person that you're getting to know. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna watch her from afar, and I knew she was liking me. I knew she was digging me and all, but I was like, she's so cool with it because she didn't really let on to it. So when she broke rank with that and it came out and like called me up and like, this is this and that and that, I was like, okay.
Yeah, I love this, Cheryl.
So I had to come on out then at that point. So it kind of did take things a little faster, which was fine. But, you know, I was already pursuing you. I just didn't know it.
Like 10 years later. No, just kidding.
Yeah, right. You're like, year 21, just finding that out.
Yes.
But look, whatever it was, it worked. It worked.
Yes,
it worked.
It worked. It worked. So just to summarize that, you know, it's like, you know, and when you know, you just go for it. You just, you know. And like I said, I knew on the back of that ship, but the timing is what I didn't know. So if you're in a relationship with someone, you know, always seek timing. You know,
what I like about what you said is you stayed authentic to yourself.
Yeah,
so you didn't allow, you know, because there's a lot of people that are in relationships and they're trying to change for that guy or whatever, and instead of being authentic, because trust me, if he's like me and a lot of other guys, we want the authentic woman. You know, you know, men, younger men, a lot. We're gonna play when it's playtime. We'll play, but when you're really serious about settling down, you ain't got to push him. He knows what he wants at that point. So you just stay who you are and stay true to what your beliefs are. And if he don't come that direction, don't you go his direction. You know, because you'll find yourself with something that you didn't know what it was at that point. So yeah,
that's very good.
I love that. It's very clear and obvious in how you all operate that there is a foundation based on love and respect. Obviously, God comes first, but you all truly admire each other. And actually, I didn't know that you all worked together initially, too.
Yeah.
But that brings me into the next topic that I want to talk about because you all are obviously entrepreneurs also, and you're also in business with each other. I know we have some other entrepreneurs that are here, and the schedule can be very hectic when you're trying to manage everything with,
Yes.
family, children, and just your own schedule and the pressures that come with operating a business. How have you all been able to do this and manage a business and be entrepreneurs and still keep a healthy marriage?
That's so
Yeah.
good.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Wow. You wanna?
Yeah. I'll start it out because it was very, very difficult at first. I mean, extremely difficult. We, we knew how we started our business. The first one, the insurance agency, we were just flying by the seat of our pants.
Yeah.
It's like
Hmm.
I had been in insurance business for some years, working for companies. I become a director, marketing director for companies, and all of a sudden I had no job, and I had to do something. And we started talking and figuring out some things, and my old connections, I was able to go back and get contracts and things like that. But we just moved out and started doing what we knew to do, and we missed out on a lot of things that you should have been doing.
Yeah.
So it brought its own stresses by
Mhm.
doing that. And then Cheryl had transitioned from being in real estate to back into the insurance business. And so at that point, we got together and wanted to work together, like use her expertise in certain areas, use mine in other areas. It did not work that way.
Yeah.
That was the plan.
That was the
Doesn't
plan.
always go as you plan. Right. Yeah.
It didn't work that way.
That's the
I think,
truth.
and truly, I think it's because we didn't know how to communicate what we needed at the time.
Right.
Um, and also, we had our own paradigms and filters that we had from growing up. Of what of how we are supposed to run business. I had gotten this thing where I'm the CEO of this business. I make the last decision, and it didn't fly well.
Yeah, I'm sure.
She was making
I wonder.
suggestions, and I listened to the suggestion, but then I'll quickly say, no, that's not what we're gonna do, and it just was driving a pure wedge in between us. We were just, I mean, this is when we were really on the verge. We've come from the verge of divorce.
Yes.
To back to this because
Absolutely.
the business and not knowing how to gel together in the business was driving us apart.
Yeah.
It really was. And so we really had to start investing into our relationship even more. We went through counseling, trying to figure some things out. And that's where we learned how to, kind of put our filters aside, our expectations aside, and learn how to communicate better so that we can know, okay, I need you to do this and I'm going to do that.
Exactly.
Use your strengths here and I'm going to use mine here. Stay in that lane. Yeah, we can cross over some because there's some, we do cross over, but for the most part, we know our lanes. We know what we're good at.
Yeah. Clearly defined roles.
Yes.
Yes, clearly defined roles. That's one tip I would give.
Yeah, that's
it's clearly having clearly defined roles within the business, because what we tend to forget is that marriage is a type of business, and so when you go over into a external business, if that first business, your marriage, isn't strong,
that's good.
You're going to suffer in your external business because you haven't taken the time to develop that foundation. Your marriage, it has to be strong. And that's one thing I would recommend to any business owner is making sure that you keep that marriage strong, and then you will keep the business going. And so that was one thing that we worked on is our marriage. And so that's why we are still in business together. We have not dissolved the business. We haven't split the assets. We haven't done any of that.
You added another business.
Yes, we added another. Yes,
Yeah.
and that's another win. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So the wins in your relationships, they outweigh the losses and the challenges and the setbacks.
Absolutely.
So a lot of time as couples, we focus on the losses and the challenges, but we decided to focus on the wins, the things that we have accomplished together. When you sit down with your mate, your spouse, and you start thinking on those things, like really think and go back and think on the things that you've done together. You know what I mean? It will just compel the problem, the issue was just, it's no comparison to the growth that the marriage has made together. And so for anyone that's in business, know that your marriage is a type of business. It has to be worked on. I don't like when I talk to people, they say, I don't have to work on my marriage.
There you go.
It's like, well, I don't want to talk to you because you're
Right.
not real. Marriage is work.
Yeah.
It is work, and it has to be intentional, just like your business. You won't start a business and not manage the business. We have to manage our marriage. I manage my own personal life. Will manages his personal life, and then we come together and manage the business in the marriage together. So that's what has worked for us in business, is making sure that our marriage is strong.
Yes, Tammy says, preach. I love this because you all are obviously advocates for marriage counseling. And I think, especially in the African American community, we are, as a culture, kind of apprehensive to seek counseling. And a lot of times we'll go to the doctor, we break our toe or we injure our knee, but we don't go to the doctor for our mind or our heart. And so I just want to openly say out there that my husband and I also have gone to marriage counseling, and I want to normalize this. You can go if you are having a challenging time, you can go for maintenance. But if you can find a counselor that you can partner with to help strengthen your marriage and your communication, please do so. Please do so. And so this conversation with Will and Cheryl is a testament that you have to partner with someone that you trust to help strengthen your marriage. So, I love that you all talked about that. So, Will, I have a question for you.
Okay.
Cheryl, we just briefly talked about Cheryl starting another business, a fitness business, and she has a free giveaway towards the end of this video. So you all stay plugged in and stay tuned in so you can get that free deal. But you are always, one thing that I really admire, you're always very supportive and always encouraging her when she posts something on social media or she has an event. You and her mother are the first person to comment, to encourage her, and it's absolutely beautiful. So I want to ask you, why is it important for you to encourage your wife as an entrepreneur? And can you share some tips on how husbands who are married to women-owned business owners can continue to support their wives further, as you do? You clearly do.
I think that, as men, once we put aside our ego, I'm just going to talk real. We got men on here, don't we?
I hope so. If not, tag them. Get your husbands on the screen.
They're probably watching it on their wives' login.
That's
what it is. That's what it is.
When we get past our ego, and then understand that really women are doing some amazing things these days. Just women all over are doing some amazing things, and a lot of it is because the cap has been removed in some ways, to show that women can do exactly or even more than what men do. And I just learned over years that my wife is just really good at some things, and it's like, okay, you could be known worldwide with this gift that you have, but I do know that there were some blind spots that she was not good at, but I was good at it.
Right.
So what you may see on social media with the likes and things like that, that's the lowest part of the support that I give. Most of the support is happening behind the scenes.
Yes.
When some difficult situation comes up and she tells me about it and I'm giving some advice about it.
Yes.
When we need to make a different move marketing wise, because we can't right now, our schedules won't allow us to really launch and go real big with either the CMOS business or the fitness business.
Right.
We're just doing what we can until we can kind of phase her out of her full-time job into the other job, and we have some goals and plans for that.
Yes.
But while we have to work to that spot, we have to kind of control how much marketing we put out there. And I'm there helping with that. I'm there setting up, the technology stuff, making sure the video. I mean, I'm going to do as best I can.
Yes.
Because we haven't hired anybody to do it professionally, but I've learned. I got on there. I'm studying how to do certain things because if she's successful, we're successful.
Yes.
Yes.
And just the things that she's done over the years, really just proved that she's ready for this and she's really good at it. She's a motivator, and she got that voice to make you stand up. Like, what?
Yeah.
What's going on?
The queen has walked into the room.
She gets your attention.
Knows herself. She's confident. Yes.
So to men, I just say, I've learned that maybe not all women like that, but you should know your wife, and I don't want some other dude supporting her more than I do. You know what I mean? I'm on there. I'm looking, and I'm I'm putting things out there. And when they see her on camera, of course, the first thing people are doing is they're seeing, okay, they're doing the same thing I did through the window at the church. So I need to let them know, hey, that she got somebody back there, behind the scenes. So. That's the selfish part of it, but no, I just really, I really see that she has the skills, and there's certain things that I know I can do. I ain't gonna preach or nothing, but the Bible talks about if you know that there's something that you can give to someone and they deserve it, and you don't give it, it's basically a sin to do that.
Wow.
So I'm not gonna be that one that is not giving what is deserved when I have the power to do that.
Amen to that. That is very, very powerful. I love that. Look, my sister-in-law is on here. She's gonna get me in trouble. She said, Kia, go call your brother. She's trying to get shot, and she wants my brother to tune into this conversation. She's liking your advice, Will.
Who is that? Portia or Tasha?
No, this is my sister. My sister-in-law. She's married to my brother.
Okay.
I love that. We'll get him on here next time, Debbie. Yes, but I absolutely. Yes.
Oh, I got it.
Women make up approximately 36% of small business owners worldwide. And there's so many challenges that women-owned businesses experience, even as, as simple as we talk about capital, raising capital for women-owned businesses, and things are progressing and things are changing. But I just truly appreciate the example that you all have set and the example that you set, Will, for being there and encouraging and supporting your wife. And my husband, he's on here too, so I want to give him a big shout out, my baby Sean, because let me tell you something, my man is always there for me too.
Yes.
And that's why y'all are such great friends.
Yes,
because y'all
that's my boy. That's my boy for real. Me and him go way back. We're still friends. Whenever we get together, it's like we never even separated at all.
I know, it's amazing. It really is.
I think I'll be seeing him in a couple weeks too, so that's gonna be good.
Oh, you sure will. Y'all have a great time. Y'all definitely deserve it. So, I want to also ask you all. You talked about, a challenging time that you had in your marriage. What's the secret to fighting fairly? Now that you all have been married for 21 years, can you give us some tips on how do you fight fairly?
Well, my background, my when I was growing up, I didn't see a lot of communication being done in the right way.
Mm-hmm.
My parents communicated, but it was sometimes, a little, up there, if you
Yes.
will. And so I learned a lot from my mom as to how to communicate and how to treat people with love and kindness. And so I do get a lot of that from her.
Mm-hmm.
But in our marriage earlier on, I dealt with the freeze out. When Will and I would have a disagreement or a situation, I would do the freeze, which wasn't right to do because the communication was cut off. And so when we went to counseling years ago, we were taught how to fight fairly. First of all,
Mm.
I didn't even know that there was such a thing.
Mm.
Because from
Yes.
where I'm from, if you're fighting, you're fighting.
Right.
The
Yeah, I
gloves
totally
come off.
understand.
It's like I'm not talking about physical. I'm just
Yes.
talking about
Mm-hmm.
you're really trying to win this argument at any cost. And you'll say some things that you'll later regret. But I didn't know that was such a thing that you could fight fair. And so going to this counselor, she was amazing.
Yes, she was.
And I'll never forget her. But she taught us, she gave us those tools, how to fight fair, and she taught me how to listen more than I
Mm.
speak, and she helped me to increase my communication skills, not to speak before Will can get his sentence out, different
That's
things
it.
like that, like truly listening to him
Yeah.
without the intent of responding so quickly, but truly
Yes.
listen to him, listen to his heart. Like, what is he saying? What is it that he needs? God gave him to me, and so it is my duty. It is my job to make sure that I'm there for him and that I'm doing my very best. So once the counselor gave us those tools, it really helped our relationship. It helped not only my marriage, it just helped me in dealing with people, not lose
Yes.
people out, So it's like when you go seek counseling, when you go to marriage seminars, when you go to marriage conferences, listen, marriage is work. I can't say that enough. And the things that you're going to need in your marriage, the things that we needed, we had to go outside of our house to get it. You know what I mean? You
Mm-hmm.
may have to take a flight to Texas to get on this marriage conference. You may have to go to California to get this marriage seminar. Whatever it takes work. You know what I mean? And so that was one of the things that I took away
Yeah.
was how to fight fair. How not to hit Will below the belt, say something ugly that I would later regret,
Yeah.
and um,
Because you can
me.
apologize, but you can't take those things back, right?
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. And if I can get real personal, not
Yeah.
that I haven't been personal,
Yeah. No,
I
yeah, go
truly hope
ahead.
that something that I say, that we say, that it helps someone and that it enlightens them. But I had this issue with my hand. It would sometimes kind of like land on him somehow. I don't know how it got over there, but it would
It's
just
over
land
there.
on
Let me
him. I'm like,
just,
why is my
ah.
hand over here on him? Like,
Yes.
why? And so when I learned how to fight fair, and not have the cops come, to our house, this is a true story. We got
Yeah.
into a heated argument. I had the cops on the phone on one ear, and on the other ear, I had my pastor.
Oh,
Pastor
wow.
Ron, and the cop was asking which house am I in, and I'm like, Pastor Ron, and da da da. But that was so long ago, and we've gotten past all of that. And I can sit here tonight and tell the world
Mm-hmm.
that it has been so long that the thought don't even enter my mind to put my
Mm.
hand on him. The
Mm.
thought doesn't even enter my mind.
Mm-hmm.
That is, and I got tears in my eyes. I do not
Mm.
want to cause harm to my husband, the one that God gave me. Why would I want to harm
Oh,
him? You know what I mean? And so God
yeah.
had to check me. He had to check my heart. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And so I'm in such a better place. I've learned how to communicate better. Communication is key in a marriage. And so when you work on that communication, oh my God, listen, receive, listen, receive. Okay, is this what you're saying? Is this what you want? Is this
Mm-hmm.
what you mean? Get that understanding, because understanding is the best thing. Because once you get
Yes.
understanding, then you can communicate better.
Yeah, and I
Mhm.
I knew how to press her buttons too. So
Mm-hmm. Yep.
there were I had responsibility in that. I knew that physically she wasn't gonna harm me, but I knew that I didn't want to harm her. In trying to protect myself or whatever. And so that when she talks about that, she'll do something, then she's the one calling the police. I'm like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
So it was those old tactics. That's what I think. I
Yes.
think that the counselor taught us how to not to use our childhood learned.
Yes.
Mm.
Whether it's me pressing that trigger,
Yes.
whether it was me kind of ignoring what her feelings were, and
Yes.
then kind of walking away from it, and
Mhm.
and for me it can be like take it or leave it. It used to be like that, like it doesn't matter, whatever.
Mhm.
And
Right.
when you have someone like Cheryl is so passionate about everything, so when that passion
Mm.
switches to you're not you're not moving with me on this.
Mm.
You're not gelling, and I'm trying to gel,
Right.
and so that passion kind of switches over because it really is all based out of fear.
Right. It's so
When we look
good.
Yeah,
at
you're right.
yeah, it's
Yes.
all
Mhm.
fear based, and
Yes.
so I then I guess through those situations, and like she said, it was many, many years ago.
Oh
I
yeah.
mean, first when we first joined, that was our last big blow up, the last of the big blow ups,
Yes.
and we haven't had those kind of
Mhm.
situations in
That's
a very long
13
time
years
now. It's
ago.
like, wow, good. I don't know who those
Wow.
people were back then, but I thank God for even that because it taught us
Mhm.
how to communicate to each other.
Yes.
It taught me as a man how to let my emotions come out because I
Yes.
think really all it was at that time it was her trying to connect. She's always say you don't connect. You're not connecting.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
you hear that you hear that when you're talking to people. They say we're not connecting.
Yeah.
Um, it's because she'll share her heart and the fears that she has and the experiences and the insecurities that she has, and she's waiting for me as her man to
Yeah.
express my fears and my insecurities.
Right.
And that if that never happens,
Yes.
then you never really have a relationship that's
Mhm.
deep. You
Right.
know that has
Yes.
that's
That's so good.
when I learned that, I think that's when things really turned around. I was like, okay, so I
Yes.
can share my fear with you, and it's gonna be safe. You
Yes.
don't have harm for me. It's not like you're gonna go out and blast me everywhere. Like, he's afraid of snakes and tell everyone.
Right.
I'm being light of that, but
Right.
that I think is a fear that some men have to
Wow.
really open up and to connect to our wives on a very deep level. Many times you'll see women connecting deeply with each other. They're talking and they're sharing
Mm-hmm.
those things, those failures, those successes, those insecurities and
Yeah.
fears with each other, and they build their relationship
Sure.
on that.
Sure. Yep.
And whereas when we're in relationships with our wife and husband, if one of us is not willing to open up
Mm-hmm.
and not have to pry it out of you, then it makes the relationship suffer, in
Right.
the long run. So that was one of the biggest things that I could learn,
Mm-hmm.
to not trigger her and learn how to share, where I'm at emotionally, how I'm feeling right now, you know,
Yes.
and that really changed our relationship, I
It
think.
truly did.
That is so beautiful. I mean, you know what? See, aren't they adorable? They really are. This is what 21 years of marriage looks like.
1,
We all
two
hope that
decades.
we are gonna get there
Yes.
someday. We
Yes.
are gonna
Yeah,
get there.
yeah,
We're gonna claim it. You
Yes.
know, thank you, Cheryl, and both thank you, Will, because the stories that you share, especially the one you said shared, Cheryl, it's I wouldn't have ever pictured. Wouldn't
I
have ever
know.
pictured it. But honestly, it is so real and it's so authentic because a lot of us have had those, violent
Mhm.
or, very challenging moments in our
Yeah.
marriage.
Yes.
So to see you guys and
Yes.
know that, almost 15 years ago that you went
Yes.
through that and
Yes.
you unlearned those bad behaviors, you
That's
Yes,
it.
yes,
retrained your
yes.
mind,
Yes.
Mhm.
it just gives, I mean, it just
There's
sheds a
hope.
whole new light on
Yes. That's
marriage in
it.
general, that you can truly transform your relationship with your
Amen.
spouse,
Yes.
through counseling, through hope, just having the determination. Well, I want to ask you just a quick question too. Did
Okay.
Cheryl have to make you feel safe in order for you to start sharing that vulnerable
Oh,
side
that's
of you?
good.
Oh, that's so
Yeah,
good.
and I should have shared that,
Ooh.
but yes, she did. Yes, she did.
Okay.
I remember. I think the time when I really realized what I was doing, and when you're sick and tired of arguing
Yes.
and about little stuff.
Yeah.
I think there was a time, I can't remember all the points, and I'll try to be quick. Um, uh, I had forgotten to do something, and she had checked me on that.
Mhm.
And the first emotion that popped up in me at that time was anger at me. I was angry
Mm.
inside of myself because I had forgotten to do something. But
Yeah.
the response that came from me did not show that. And it came out as anger toward her. My
Yes.
response showed anger toward her. So she's
Yeah.
like, she was like mad and like, what? I'm not against you, blah, 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 blah. However way, it's been so long, I can't remember how it
Right.
went. But what I do remember is that I paused for a second and I said, actually, I'm upset with myself because I knew that I should have done that. It was on my radar. You remember
I
that?
remember.
It was on my radar to do,
Yeah.
and I didn't do it. I'm very disappointed in myself. So I'm
Yeah.
not upset with.
Mm.
And her response at the time, I don't know what she said, but I felt that, oh, you know what, she's really just trying to, I don't know what it was. It just kind of, it squashed the
Yeah.
argument instantly.
Yeah.
And I can feel that she
Mm.
was, it was, I think I had a fear of losing it all, like at an
Oh.
instant that it can be over.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? And so everything began to be this thing of avoidance, trying not
Yeah.
to step on that landmine,
Hmm.
versus just kind of like just sharing what you're feeling at the moment. I mean, it was enlightening for me to figure that piece out.
Yeah.
And so
That was a big piece.
yeah, and I started sharing more, and but I
Mm.
think over the years she made me feel more comfortable
Mhm.
with sharing, especially. I mean, one other thing is, uh, there was the night before I was going to have prostate cancer surgery to get rid of the prostate cancer that I had
Wow.
11 years ago.
Hmm.
Um, we were sitting and talking, and when a man thinks about his prostate, he's thinking about, I'm 40 years old, I'm married to a wife, and what's going to happen to our romance.
Yes.
Mm.
That was so heavy on my mind at the time, and I started to share with her, and she told me at that time, "Uh-oh, I'm not gonna cry."
Oh, don't do it.
Go ahead.
So she told me at that time that she is with me regardless. It doesn't matter what we go through. She's with me.
Yes.
And at that moment, I realized this woman is really with me. You know
Yes.
what I mean? Not this.
Oh.
Yes.
I don't know where some of us as men, we get this thing where a woman may do us wrong. Maybe we got hurt from a woman in the past, or a girl, or
Mhm.
whatever, and so we kind of carry that, not really knowing how to deal with it.
Yeah.
She expressed that to me that night, and it just really, it blew me away. It really blew me
Wow.
away, and
Mm.
from there we just been gliding and doing. We've been doing good.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Dare we say great? Dare we say great? You've been doing great for sure.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
That
And like
is,
Will,
I
and
mean,
like Will
good.
mentioned, in any relationship, you got to be willing to cut each other some slack.
That's good.
and not be so rigid in the marriage. You know, those things that we think are so important, those arguments, those disagreements, they're not that important. And a lot of times what I had to learn is not to take myself so seriously. Like, cut him some slack. Like, it's not that
Yeah.
it's not like the end of the world. You know what I mean? And so
Yeah.
learning to be compassionate, learning to show kindness, learning to understand him, and so, in the Bible it tells you to know your spouse, know them, know them that you do, yes, according to knowledge. So it's been my assignment to know Will. Like, your assignment is to know Sean, and Sean to know you, like, know. And so that takes a
Yes.
lifetime. That doesn't happen in 3 years, 4 years, 7 years, 10 years, 20 years.
Because we're changing.
We're changing. And that was my point. Go ahead. We're changing. And so as we change, the marriage changes as well. Because when I met Will, we got married, I was 31, and he was 30. And so I'll be 53 this year. And so, the body changes,
Yes.
hormonally.
Even for us guys.
And as the body changes, you have to be willing to be open and honest and communicate with your spouse and let them in, let them know what's going on with you, so you can grow together. Do not leave your spouse behind. No spouse left behind. That needs to be
Yes. Yes, that needs to be the motto for today.
Yes, no spouse left behind.
Yes.
I don't know how much time we have, but that over 21 years now, you have to know that change is happening, and if you try to hold on to that person you knew back at 20 years ago,
oh my goodness,
you need to learn the new person, and that new person could be better, and both of you can be better as long as you move with what's going on. Because andropause for men, menopause for women.
Yes.
I mean, just that decline and different types of hormones and things like that.
Testosterone
is a real thing.
That's a whole nother topic.
Yeah.
And so we try really hard to keep ourselves in shape, to keep moving, so we can keep up. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Keep up. So
Yeah, we get it.
you gotta work out.
That's real. It's real.
Good health, because that lends itself to a good relationship. Because if you're losing that part of your relationship, that's a strong thing for most people.
Absolutely.
So don't lose that. That's how you keep that spark going. And so sometimes it's just a matter of taking care of your body physically.
Absolutely.
Yes.
I don't want
so
to.
True. I mean, the comments. People are just going. They just love it. She said, "We need more time. Please return next week." Jackie said, "This is so good. Men have fears too."
Yes.
Yes, I try to instill that in my son.
Yes,
Thank you for doing that, Jackie. Yes. And Kim says,
Jackie.
"Thank you for being open with us. I love it."
You're welcome.
Kim also says, she said, "We need to do a session just for the men with Sean as a guest host." Will, I sense that hopefully, yes, they really enjoyed that. We had a discussion previously with what is it, feminism from a male's perspective. So I guess people would love to have some advice for the husbands, or discussion for the husbands. So maybe that'd be something that's brewing in the background. That's a great suggestion. Yes. So this was absolutely amazing. I can't thank you all enough for the candid conversation, your honesty, your vulnerability. You all guys almost make me cry tonight. Like, you guys are just so beautiful. It's so beautiful. But it's just a reminder that, like you said, we're on assignment for our spouse, and we have to love them and take care of them and make them feel safe. It just goes back to the basics. And Cheryl, you have an amazing business in fitness, and I want you to please tell the audience about your ICeeFitness and the giveaway for today.
Awesome. Thank you so much again, Zakia, for having us. And the ICeeFitness business, it is a online business that was started during the pandemic. I actually teach a group of women in our HOA community. And oh, Sean is here.
Yeah.
The other half is home.
Oh, that is so awesome. That's so sweet. Well, goodbye.
Okay, I know this is over now. She about to put in on that thing.
Can we start over?
Oh my goodness. But yeah, I teach. I have a passion for teaching women, how to move their bodies no matter what. My story. I was overweight, blood pressure issues, gallbladder removed, just a whole bunch of health issues, and I turned my life around by just walking. And so I try to teach women, just keep moving, no matter your size, no matter what your mind tells you, no matter how you're feeling. Do what you can do, and over time, your body will change. And so it's pretty basic. And so I started ICeeFitness with that in mind. And like I said, during the pandemic, I went to an online platform that Will manages as production, aka production. And we were able to manage and keep the class going through the pandemic, online classes. We're now back face to face in our HOA community. But the goal is to expand the fitness business to a boutique, a fitness boutique, a storefront location. And then from there, just keep multiplying, growing, adding on trainers, the whole nine. But until then, we're just going to keep moving with it, keep rocking with it. Also, during the pandemic, we became manufacturers of our brand, CMOS gel. We are approved through the Department of Agriculture. So we have a commissary kitchen where we do our CMOS gel, and things are just growing. The CMOS gel, some of you all may have heard of the CMOS gel. It's amazing. It has like over 92 minerals and vitamins that the body needs. A lot of our foods today is not nutrient dense. You know what I mean? It doesn't have all the nutrients and the vitamins in it that the cells needs. So our cells are like starving, but we're full. You're full, but your cells are still starving. So the CMOS gel has helped me, and a lot of clients are using the CMOS gel. And so tonight, we would like to bless someone with a 16-ounce jar of our freshly made CMOS gel. And Zakia, I'm not sure how you want to do this, but some lucky person is going to get this jar mailed to them. We do shipping. You can catch us on Facebook. You can catch us on Instagram. ICeeFitness.com is the website. You can follow us there as well.
YouTube.
Yep, we're on YouTube.
There's a lot of YouTube videos that are there for free, where you can get your workouts on too.
So I guess what we'll do is we'll put all the names of the people who were in the chat and were engaging in the discussion, and we'll draw a name. How about that?
Awesome.
We will have a way to get back in contact with them, get their address, so we can.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yep.
And the drink we're drinking tonight is the CMOSA. The ingredients is on the back. Oh, you go, Zakia.
Yes, my husband taught me well.
The ingredients is there on the screen. It's just ginger beer, frozen limeade, club soda, sliced lime wheels, and you can garnish it if you will. And if you want to add some alcohol, you can do that. That's optional. But ours is non-alcoholic. Let's do a toast.
Toast.
And it has the CMOS inside.
Toast to bloom.
Yes.
Toast to bloom.
Yes. This is so wonderful. So,
Yes,
okay, everyone that's here attending the conversation, that's engaging in the discussion, we are going to work with Will and Cheryl. We're going to put all your names inside of a box, and we're going to pull it, and we're going to announce it in this chat and contact you directly to get your address so they can ship that order to you. That wonderful drink that they're consuming right now. We have the recipe. We're also going to share that in the chat so everyone who's here and attending live can have that recipe and share it
awesome.
with their friends and family. So, you know, again, what Cheryl does is amazing. One of the key attributes to me about staying healthy, you know, it helps your relationship too. So it's a way, it's a form of self-love.
Yes.
So, you know, I really want to encourage you all to check Cheryl out, take care of your body, love your temple, and, you know, it might stimulate some other things that you got going on.
Exactly.
He's all, let's drink up. Yes. So yes, it's Robin is ICeeFitness.
Yes.
And we're going to tag all of her contact information in the chat, so you'll be able to contact Cheryl.
Thank you, Robin.
Yes, and get all of our information. So be looking for that in just a few moments. Oh, Kim said yes, it does. It helps you with the, you know, that other stuff.
Okay.
Yes, Kim. Yes.
So, you know, again, I want to thank you all for
you.
tuning in, for everyone engaging in the conversation. I hope and pray that you all have gotten something out of this discussion. And I want to thank you so much to Will and Cheryl for being so
love you guys.
and vulnerable. I mean, you guys are just hats off to you.
Oh my goodness.
We look forward to the 30th, the 40th, the 50th, you know.
Yes.
You know, keep living life and just being such an amazing, beautiful couple. It's really affecting a lot of us in a positive way.
And y'all pray for us. Keep us in your prayers. You know, we still need prayer, and we'll pray for you all as well.
Absolutely. Yes. Great tidings. Okay, so thank you all. I'm so happy that you enjoyed this discussion. We will be in contact.
We hope so.
Soon.
All
right. Bye-bye.
Bye.